One, two, three, hit 'em. What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Cashflow, Money Monroe, and we back at you talking that real estate. And you already know what's going on, Art. What's going on, Sheba? What's going on, family? Everybody watching? Happy Sunday. How you doing?
Happy Sunday, Chris. How you doing today?
Good, good. Where you been hiding? I was finna send out a search party for you.
Man, stuck at work basically, but we through the thick of it now.
I know that's right. It's always something to do. It's always some work out here. So glad to have you back. Everybody's still hyped up from last night's Pace Morby meetup. Let's see, we got Teresa. What up, Teresa? Good meeting you last night. Camellia from St. Peter's, West Coast, West St. Louis, I guess we should say. Good to see you as well. So yeah, they said you say they had you up and working, huh, Art?
Yeah, it was our busy time of year, so had to knock out a bunch of outages.
Yeah, well, it's that season. So yeah, this is a busy season for real estate too, ain't it? It's the holidays almost. The end of the year. There's people that are out here that need to buy property before the year ends, and there's people that need to sell property before the year ends. What are we going to do to make sure they know that we're out here and ready to buy a deal from them?
Be making contact with them, letting them know who we are and what we can do. See if they have any problems, see how we can help them out.
For sure. So yeah, what's going on, Justin? We found Art. Solve problems. So yeah, just a small refresher for people that's jumping in and maybe a little more new. It's very important when we get on the phone with these people. I like to knock out what they call those four pillars. I didn't come up with it. Somebody in the game did. I don't know. I'm not going to take credit for it or anything. But it's very simple. We're going to first find out the motivation. We're not even really in that order. Motivation, timeline, condition, and the price. But the motivation, in my opinion, is the most important part of all that because if you don't know why they're trying to sell, what are we solving? You know, everybody likes to know the price. Everybody wants to know how old your roof is. Everybody want to know all these different things, but it's all going to come back to motivation. Would you agree with that, Art?
100%.
Have you had any people that you've worked with that you would consider as like, wow, I didn't expect them to say they're selling because of that reason? That's different.
My very first real estate deal, that lady told me she had a crazy medical emergency and she had to sell that house in 2 weeks. The doctor told her she needed to sell and get to her family ASAP.
Really?
Yeah, that was my very first deal. So like, from there, like my mind kind of been blown on the situations people end up in on why they need to sell these properties.
But that's what we're selling when we're thinking about wholesaling a cash deal, speed and convenience. That's why they will take a deep discount. If you can offer speed and convenience, they'll be willing to take a haircut on that price, right?
Yeah, and another one is a deal that I bought sub to earlier this year. This lady, they bought this property in October 2023, and then her husband, or they not married, but her spouse, he got hurt at work, like right after they bought the property. So they hadn't made a payment since December of 2023. By the time I caught up with them, which was like around maybe March this year or something. So yeah, I never thought I'd run into somebody who got hurt and been off work that long, and that was the scenario.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that we truly do bring some value to the marketplace by solving their problem and getting the deal done, getting it to the finish line. Because if they were to put it on the market, they would have had to go through a whole bunch of red tape, finding an agent, having that agent list to take a bunch of pictures, show the house, open house, go get a loan, which a lot of people can't even get the loan, by the way. That's really the hardest part. Getting the loan, getting the payment that you want, getting the down payment that you want, passing all the inspections, making the appraisal. A lot of people don't make the appraisal. That's another way to get knocked out of a deal. All that stuff you got to go through the other traditional way. It's all wiped out when you just sell as a cash deal. So that's one of the main reasons why people would like to work with a investor because Because, you know, there's people out there that's like, oh, that sounds bad. You took their house for nothing. No, we took a risk. Let's see here. Somebody said, hi, Taraya. They know you, Taraya. You're famous now. They're like, Taraya, remember you? You was on the stage last night. You was up there doing your dance. Nah. Cool beans. So, yeah, this is I think a lot of people that came to that meetup last night was very excited. You know, it just reinvigorates, and you know, because real estate really can be a boring thing, to be honest with you, because once you set it up and it's paying you every month, you don't have to do anything, except for when you get turnover like I just did. One of my houses I'm about to take back. It was supposed to be back, and it was supposed to be out by Tuesday, but I just found out she already moved out. So I'm like, oh, let me go get this house back together and put my next people in. So that's the game we play.
Oh no, a tenant moved out.
Actually, this was an insurance claim tenant. So they've been in this house for a year. I don't know, about 10, 11 months, maybe a year. I don't remember when they moved in, but they've been there quite a while, almost a year. And so insurance was paying, it was like $3,000 a month for a furnished rental. And I put it out, and I found another tenant that's going to move in. This one is not on an insurance claim, but this one is actually on a, I guess you can call this one a corporate lease. A corporate lease. So somebody's paying for their workers to be able to move into this property, and they're not paying the little measly $3,000 a month. They're paying $3,800 a month. Wait a minute, where my ching ching number at? Wrong one. One of them. I don't know. One of those sound effects. Cha-ching. I don't even have a cha-ching. But that's what we're doing. Get that money, baby. So yeah, furnished rentals are becoming my favorite. Between furnished rentals and lease options, those are really my main exit strategy. There's a lot of people that still like to do Section 8. I think I got asked that a couple times last night at that meetup. Hey, what do you think about Section 8? Fine for whoever wants to do it, but when you know too much, you can't unknow this stuff. It's kind of like when they tell you to go buy a house and go get a loan or pull your credit and do all of that stuff. Once you know there's another way, that way don't even seem interesting anymore. Do you feel like that too, Art? You're muted.
It's the bond creative, for sure.
Creative is the way. Justin likes creative as well, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, the creative way.
I was just saying, yeah, for sure. You know, like once you know how these creative deals, I was just saying once you know how these creative deals come together and know how to negotiate good deals, it really don't make sense doing nothing else for real.
For sure. Yeah. So they're saying last night was a blast and ready to learn how to do my first wholesale deal. Now, Art, you being an OG in the game, what would you tell a brand new person that's like, hey, I just want to get a first deal. I don't want to make this stressful. I just want to get a deal before the year ends. Is that even possible?
Is it possible? If someone's starting brand new right now, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Yeah. It would be difficult to do before the end of this year, but it is possible.
Should they go spend a whole bunch of money and or what should they do? I guess it's a better way to put that. What would you tell a person that's kind of new, thinking about getting into real estate? Where should they go if they want to do their first wholesale deal?
If someone's new and want to do a deal, I would say if they're here asking this question, they're in a great place to get started. A couple things I would say that they need to do for sure would be to dedicate a certain amount of time each week to being able to look for deals. You need to dedicate time to being able to study the craft, which means studying closing calls, reading books, podcasts, YouTube videos. All that stuff should be like a routine. And then from there, just, you got to pick a marketing channel and then run with it. They all work.
I like it. What do you think, Justin? You've done a bunch of deals already in your first year in the business. You came in swinging and bucking and swinging. What would you tell a new person coming in? What should they do to get their first wholesale deal?
I would say see what's going on with your street, your neighborhood. Look out for people who moving out the neighborhood and stuff. Get familiar with the process of looking people up, skip tracing them, searching them. I had Dan over today. We were showing him how to skip trace and find people, and just drive the neighborhood, look for distressed properties, and then start calling those people up, start having a conversation with them. Hey, I seen this property, it was vacant over here on such and such street. What kind of plans did you have on the property? And just let them open up and just start having those conversations. A lot of them might not go anywhere, but at least you getting your reps in with basically people who just got property just sitting up.
Okay, sounds good. Anyone else want to add anything to that? Miss Taraya, she said, I don't know. Yeah, I'm chilling. Sheba, what's going on? Bathsheba, how are you?
Hey
Chris, what would
y'all.
you tell someone who's brand new looking at their first deal?
I tell them to start looking. I like to start foreclosure. Start looking for foreclosure. People who have an auction coming up, having a conversation. Not saying we're going to go in and save the day. Not going in and making a bunch of promises and bold claims. We're going to give you $1 zillion for your house. We're really truly there to try to help them solve a problem, which it's a huge problem. You're about to lose your house. Three ways I always recommend is a great website called auction.com. Cost $0. Auction.com. Look at the foreclosures on that site. You're going to see bank owned, and you don't want that. That's going to be real estate. You want to see some of the private auction, some other things. Basically, we're looking for the one that says foreclosure. The word pre-foreclosure isn't on there. It just says foreclosure at auction.com. Go on there and actually put in your area, and you'll see a bunch of houses, not all of them, but quite a bit of them in your area that's going to be sold to the highest bidder at a future date. And the only thing we're going on there to do is to do one thing, well, I guess two things. One, see that this person's at auction, and two, see what the date is. Once we have that information, we're going to go do what Justin just said and look them up. Who is the owner? Who is the owner? We're going to find out who owns that property, and this is all public record. We're going to go to either the county website, or you can use a free website like propwire.com. Propwire.com for free. Get your free account and look up and see who owns it, and then reach out to them. You can either reach out to them via text, you can either reach out to them via call, or the best of all is still, to me, knocking on the door, because you're going to get belly to belly with the seller. You'll be able to see the condition of the house and probably get them to open up a little bit more than some random person calling them. Especially for those of you that have some sales backgrounds, things like that. Knocking on the door is a powerful way to get your first lead, your first opportunity. What do you think about that, Art?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, you can't really go wrong in any way you go about the business, honestly. As long as we're consistent in our efforts, anyone can do a deal.
That's true. Let's see. DJ says Fizbos for sale by owners, not listed by agent, but they have it on Zillow. The best way to navigate. It's been a while. That is one of the ways. I actually don't see a lot of for sale by owner signs anymore. When I first started in 2018, I used to see a lot of Fizbo signs in different neighborhoods, like, oh, just driving down the street. Oh, there's a house for sale. I don't see them too often anymore. Those are some of the best deals, in my opinion, too, because especially if you find one that only put a sign in the yard, like the first house I bought, only a sign in the yard, no internet presence whatsoever, no Zillow, no Craigslist, no Facebook groups, no none of that for the marketing. We found a person that didn't know how to market, because it's only two reasons a property won't sell. And I tell everybody, let me see. Oh, Taraya got kicked out. Sorry about that. I'm going to see if Taraya knows since she popped back in. She said, don't put a pop quiz on me. It's only two reasons a property won't sell. What could they be?
Two reasons they won't sell.
Yes, there's only two reasons a piece of property won't sell.
I would probably say
Uh-oh, I'm getting some feedback off of this. Is that Jeff's thing? Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I think the problem is not too.
Oh, that's because he got that TV on in the background or something. That's what it is. Okay, it should work now. I hope. I can't hear you anymore though. Your audio went out. Justin trying to tell you the answer. Like, hey, this the answer.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It still got an echo, but yes, because y'all got something on the background, a TV or something. But you can just say it and I can read your lips. Price. Come on, y'all. We knew that was easy. We knew that price was the right answer. That's the number one reason why properties won't sell. What's the second reason a property would not sell? Location.
Wrong.
Let's try the marketing, because a property could sell in any location. Even in the worst hoods of America, somebody will buy that house. In the best hoods of America, somebody will buy that house. So it's never really location. It's usually the price or the marketing sucks. And when I say the marketing sucks, that means one picture of the front of the house, nothing else. No multiple pictures, no video walkthrough, not marketed in the right locations, which can be Facebook, Craigslist, Zillow. We love Zillow. Before you lay your head on that Zillow, on that pillow, put it on Zillow. That's Justin's favorite thing. You got that and other places where you can actually market to let people know you exist. So when the marketing is strong enough and the price is set right, anything will sell. This doesn't just go with real estate. Anything will sell. One, the price is too high. The marketing sucks. What you think about that, Miss Sheba? Is that new information or you already knew that?
Marketing was my answer.
Okay, she said I ain't going for it.
I just didn't want to be wrong because, you just never know. But yes, marketing, but I never would have guessed price. I never would have guessed price. So how does that work? Do they normally price it too high, you think? Like owners think that their property is worth more value than it actually is, correct?
100%. People do it every day. They believe their house is worth $2 million and it's barely worth $100,000. They just put a number out there and that's the number they want, which is their prerogative to do that. But the marketplace is always right. That's the whole philosophy I come back to. No matter what you or me or a real estate agent or anybody else think, the marketplace is always right. This is one of the reasons why I beat local market rents. Oh, that property can only rent for this much. Why do I beat all those numbers? Because I don't go by those numbers. I go by negotiation, asking questions, understanding what the marketplace thinks or feels about that particular price or that particular property versus me saying, oh, I know it all. I don't know what's the most somebody would pay for something. That's the crazy thing about it. You may be thinking $2,000 a month and you might find out there's people that's willing to pay $3,000 a month or whatever the numbers are. So yeah, that's basically what it is. Price is too high. So for example, we got a property, they want $200,000 for it. It's on the multiple listing service, MLS. It's listed with an agent and it's been on for 100 days and the price has not moved and it's been on for 100 days. It's only two reasons that property didn't sell. The price was too high or the marketing sucks. Probably the price was too high is usually the first one. But if we look at the marketing, you'll see a lot of times that they only put one or two pictures on, or they just didn't do a good job with it all together. They have a really grainy photo and it's like, it doesn't look like a home. So you can even also add to that staging. Some people put furniture in the properties or they do AI staging because you can go on Chat GPT and it can stage a room for you, right? For free. Well, is that free? Is that free art? I know
Yes.
art is our AI specialist, by the way, y'all.
You could definitely do that for free.
For free on Chat GPT or one of those, or maybe even Grok, who knows? One of those artificial intelligence things. Matter of fact, I got a question about AI. Is anyone using AI for wholesale? If so, how? Are you using AI, Art?
Yeah, I use it a couple different ways. I've used it to come up with digital bandit signs. one really creative way that I've used it is I came up with a simulator of me talking with motivated sellers. I was able to cater it to my market. So it actually talks about things that are real legitimate concerns that people in my market have. Um, it gives you feedback on the entire conversation, how you did on objections, rebuttals, things you should have done differently, give you a score at the end. So basically, I use that to help train on closing calls. So that's one
You
another
trained up the
creative way.
bot to be like a seller, and you like is giving you objections and stuff.
Correct.
Wow,
Go through a full phone call that way.
that's what I'm talking about. Anybody else using AI, artificial intelligence, in the real estate business?
Also know people are using it to come up with maximum allowable offers. I have looked at a couple deals that people ran those numbers that way, and the numbers be close. I will say
Really?
that. Yeah. And the ones that I've looked at, of course, is I ain't looked at a million of them or anything, but it give you a ballpark for sure.
Yeah, I'm using AI in multiple ways. One of the ways is it's answering my phones. So if you call my furniture business, I have an AI that I created just for that. Her name's Jamie. It can be a man or a woman because I didn't know if I was going to do that. But her name's Jamie. If you call my St. Louis Consignment Gallery, if you call there, she goes through, screens you, and answers all the basic questions like, oh, what time you open? What time you close? That type of stuff. Or either, whatever you want. And then I use it for my real estate business as well to screen for motivated sellers on inbound calls. It also can screen for rent-to-own tenant buyers if they call asking about our rent-to-own properties. It can answer most of those basic questions, if not all of them. And it can also deal with cash buyers or wholesalers. I'm sorry, that too, wholesalers. I've basically been working on it. It's not complete yet. It's about 90% there. It can deal with most situations that call in, and it's all through voice. And they can text and everything. It's actually kind of scary what this stuff can do. AI is taking over, guys. So that means your skills must get better. What if you could train a bot to close the whole deal for you? What would you do with that, Art? Would you like
That
that?
would be very useful. Yeah.
The people in the Philippines mad as heck.
Why they getting replaced by AI?
You thought $4 an hour was a good deal till you found out you can get it for less than that with AI and get a better product, and they don't sleep. It goes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even in your sleep. So,
Another one that I just started messing with in the past few days was this app called Sora, which allows you to do like videos and whatnot. So I'm basically using that to make like commercials that I'm gonna be posting on my social media, just to be able to make impressions to remind people that I'm in the real estate business.
Yeah, you gotta let them know you exist. And AI, like I said, is probably gonna take over some stuff, to be honest. If your skill level doesn't go up with it, people doing regular mundane work are going to be replaced. I mean, it's just the moral of the story. It's sad, but people are like, oh, they're replacing us. You better get your skills up. I mean, is there another alternative than that, or just?
A lot of jobs are going to be replaced.
Taraya, your thing, when you might have to go out and come back in, and it might come on or something. I don't know, because your thing is not doing right. What'd you say, Art?
I was just saying a lot of jobs are going to be no longer needed.
It's already taken over. You go to McDonald's right now, you can't even order at the counter. You got to go to the dang on computer.
Yeah.
Crazy work.
It was like 9 or 10 years ago, right before I got into the trade that I'm in, when I was taking some training. So this was like 2015 or 2016. When I was taking those classes at that time, my instructor was telling me that that's what all of the restaurants were going to do. And back then I couldn't even fathom it. And then I remember, years ago when I first seen that, I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I just got back from Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Don't ask me how many cars I saw driving themselves.
The transaction engineer, he was surprised. I had seen him downtown. He was driving his truck. He like, people know me in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, Mr. Transaction Engineer.
I'm like, is that Mr. Transaction Coordinator? He like, what people doing knowing me out here?
You can't go nowhere.
I recognize everybody.
Yep. Shouts out to Mr. Transaction Engineer. He says, change with the times or get left behind. So yeah, like I said, when I was down there in Atlanta, I saw way more vehicles driving around by themselves. The Tesla truck driving around by itself. I was like, damn, it's getting creepy. So all of you that's been driving and think you're gonna drive for Lyft and Uber and do all of that, and they got those little robot cart things that bring you food. I don't even know how that works. I just saw a bunch of them.
They have that here now.
It's here in St. Louis?
Yeah, they have it out there at Ameristar.
Really?
Uh-huh. They had it before they put in there chapter 18. That replaced, it would always just bring you your food. So they haven't restarted it back up in chapter 18 yet, but they'll probably start it back. But yeah, they definitely have that.
Oh, you're talking about the waiter that brings it out to you like that?
Yeah, but it's a robot that brings it to you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. They have the ones out on the street too, though, doing it. We got food here too.
Wait a minute, on the street? I haven't seen it on the street.
They got them on the street there. That's what I said. Dang, just to be honest, in St. Louis, we're about 10 years behind in technology. When you go out of town, you come back like, dang, we late on everything. They doing all this. Go to Austin, go to Atlanta, go to Nashville, go to Los Angeles. A lot of places like that. You'll see a lot of stuff that's kind of late. It ain't here yet. And I'm like, man, that technology taking over. So what does that tell you?
I have a quick question. I'm so sorry to bother you, Mr.
Sure,
Monroe.
no bother. Go ahead.
Good evening to everybody. Everybody on YouTube, what is up? Thank you so much for having me on the platform. Hey, Justin, Taraya, you already know we locked in. But with art, do you mind? Because I am new. I am a wholesaler, a bird dogger. At this point, my goal is to successfully put deals in front of buyers and then become a buyer myself, because I have a nonprofit and I'll be housing reentry citizens and the homeless as well. So I understand that I have to get deals done in order to do that successfully. But my question to you is, do you mind sharing some of the prompts? Because I know the prompts have to be extremely specific in order for us to get through that question and answer. Because I feel like for me, having rebuttals beforehand, because I'm a beast on the phone, I don't mind. But the rebuttals, I'm human like everybody else. It'll trip me up. So do you mind sharing your prompts so I can get specific rebuttals or know how to prepare myself? So at least I can go through these scenarios and kind of self-prepare in the meantime.
Yeah, let me pull this up. I got it saved in my notes real quick.
I mean, what is something they might ask if you were to, if somebody was talking to you, what do you think they might say to you, Miss Sheba? What rebuttal are you afraid of? That's what I'm trying to ask.
So I think the rebuttal that I'm most afraid of is like not having comps right then and there. Because when you mentioned that earlier, I guess that was my question. Like, okay, so let's say I call them like how we did last night. I did my 5 calls. I get somebody on the phone. They agree that, they're 100% down to sell their house before the end of the year. They think that the house is worth $2 million. It's really worth $500,000. Do I at that point present comps to them? Because honestly, the seller is not going to know this technical language. So how do I communicate the value from an educated standpoint of having the comps on hand, but still actively have that conversation in real time, So for me, I feel like rebuttal wise, that would be the main thing, is like pricing. But even as a wholesaler or a bird dogger, I'm just setting appointments.
Yeah.
I would just be setting appointments and sending them up like, hey, Chris, I got this seller. They're at a 10, before, and selling before the end of the year, and you would do the rest of that. But
so here's the thing. Don't worry about the numbers at this point. We're just trying to do the 4 pillars. I don't know if you saw the beginning. We're trying to find out their timeline. How soon they're looking to sell. Their motivation. Why are they selling? A general condition of the property. We're not trying to get overly too specific, like, oh, what color is the carpet or nothing crazy. Very general. So timeline, condition, motivation, and the price. What the price they want. We don't have to present them anything right then and there. So keep that in mind. We're there as a detective. We're there just to get some information to find out, should we even be talking to you, or you need to be talking to a real estate agent or doing something else because you're unrealistic. That's the reason why we ask certain questions to figure out who we're dealing with. But we're not obligated to have all the numbers right there in front of us and know all the things in the world. What we do in that point, once we've gathered all our information, thank you, Mr. Seller. Now that I got all this information, I'm going to do my due diligence, do my research to come up to see what we can do to help you out in this situation. And then you can pass it on to someone like me or a closer to help do the deal from that point. Does that make sense?
Okay, great. Yes, that was my next question. So if I was, let's say, bird dogging for you, because we know you are the king in St. Louis, as we learned last night. Payson put you out there. But so if I was serving deals up to the king, you would just need me to take care of the 4 pillars and then provide you with that information so you can have that. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Easy. Don't even because you got to underwrite a deal. Once we get all the information, we still have to underwrite it to see if it fits any buying criteria, not even just mine. Would anybody buy this deal? You know, if you're talking about wholesaling, because it may not be for, you know, the so-called king of the St. Louis. It might be for somebody else. It might be for anybody. Somebody else might love the deal. And you're like, man, this looks like trash, but somebody else love it. Like it might be in a bad area. Like, oh, I don't buy over there. But somebody else would love to buy over that house, buy that $20,000 house for little or no money.
And then would these AI art, since you're the AI guru, would these AI prompts, like, let's say as a wholesaler, my fee is like 5,000 or it's a percentage. Would, if I plug that stuff into Chat GPT, would it give me a better idea of what a good flat rate? Because if the buyer is buying the house for 20K, my finder's fee can't be 10K. I feel like that's excessive. So could I use Chat GPT as a tool to do that as well, to help me negotiate a finder's fee that would be sufficient? Because I don't want to burn bridges with my buyers. I want my buyers are my bread and butter. So can I use Chat GPT as a tool to do that too, to figure out what would be a viable fee to charge you guys to bring these properties to you?
You got she asking you, Art. I got to answer, but I'm gonna let you take some on that.
I kind of only caught like the last half. I'm lagging really
She's
bad
asking,
right
does
now.
Chat GPT give her something to help with far as determining what she should charge for the property or charge for her assignment fee?
So Miss Sheba, what you really want to do here is so to answer your question, yes, Chat GPT can give you a roundabout number that'll tell you where you need to be, but you still got to be able to interpret those numbers, because it's going to tell you like the most that you could pay for this property is 90,000, for example. But then you got to know, like, with the 90,000, like, where's that money going? How are you getting paid and all of that? So you really have to take some time to really learn the formulas. For example, the Mayo formula. You need to learn that, and then you need to learn how to run your comps, and then be able to really analyze these properties and put real numbers together. Now, there's a school of thought where you can just go about just asking the sellers and then kind of going from there, of course, but you really need to take time to really learn how to run these numbers, though. That's what I say.
Yeah, if you're going to do the whole deal yourself. Now, if you're just going to bring it to somebody, they'll do that. But if you want to run the deal yourself, that's what he's talking about. But I need to reset your expectations on this. You said something about the price. You know, how do I know what's a good? Why is my thing fuzzy? Stop that. Unfuzz.
When you did this here, it went blurry. So
it'll be back in 3 seconds. There we go. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to your assignment fee, right? It's made up. Price is made up. If you got the house for $1 and sold it for $100,000, it shouldn't make a difference to the end buyer if the numbers make sense, like Art was saying, as far as the Mayo formula, what they call it, maximum allowable offer. Somebody should be able to pay X number for it. If you got it for $1 or you got it for $90,000 and they're gonna pay $100,000, it does not matter. I personally do not negotiate assignment fees with anybody. I give them a total contract purchase price, meaning I'm going to assign my contract for a total number. Negotiating my assignment fee is nowhere in this conversation. So just to get that, cleared up on that particular part. So if the numbers make sense, though, they should be able to buy it either way. DJ, did you want to add something on that, or anybody else?
Oh no, you guys said it. I mean, your number is your number. You tell them the total amount of what they're purchasing it for.
Right. We're not negotiating assignment fees.
The only reason I'm asking is because, like, for example, working with you, Mr. Monroe, my relationship is going to be more important than making a quick buck. So I don't want to think that $10,000 is a reasonable assignment fee when it could be a teachable moment, and the assignment fee should really be $5,000. Not that I'm willing to negotiate, but as a student right now, working with you, maybe not working with other buyers, but working with you
or Justin, the people that we met in our small networking circle, I would like for that to be a teachable moment for y'all to say, hey, Shiva, instead of 10,000, maybe 5, because my relationship to value, there's more value in the relationship than making $10,000 as one deal, and then I can never do deals with you again.
So
So
I'll
I
give you
think
one little
that I just want to
tip.
be sure that I'm like cultivating these relationships
Yeah.
more than anything.
I'll give you one little tip to kind of help you out, and then I'll pass it to Justin. When you do your underwriting or your Mayo formula, bake in at least $10,000 for the deals to still be able to work for the end buyer. So say if you did find a deal and there was a spread enough to say, oh, we can make 10,000, and say you couldn't get a buyer and you wanted to do a JV or joint venture, you could bring it to Justin or bring it to me or bring it to somebody who understands how to get a buyer. And now we're just going to split that 10,000. You'll get 5 and I'll get 5, something to that effect. So long as the numbers still work for the end buyer, it won't really matter. Does that make sense?
Thank you so much. Cool.
No problem. You have something on that?
Yeah, so I'll say, Sheba, don't think about how it's one thing to talk to us and we kind of help you with maybe where you should be at as far as the numbers, but more than likely we might not be buying your deal. We possibly could be, but more than likely we not. We're gonna tell you, hey, go market your deal, go find some buyers. So from making the relationships with the buyers and everything, you'll put it out there to the universe, let the marketplace determine, what's a good number. I've had like rehabs and stuff where I got the seller, they were going to make $1,500 each property, $3,000 total, and then I had found 2 people who was willing to buy for $7,000 and $8,000, for example. So I'm not in those conversations. I'm not discussing, I'm making more than the seller is making off the property. I'm getting her number. I'm getting my number. But the only reason I'm getting my number is because someone agreed to buy it at a higher number that I had on contract. So if it so happens, if you find a house that you have under contract for $45,000, and then you find someone who's willing to pay $60,000 for it, you make $15,000, and you shouldn't feel bad about that because you took a good deal. No, you took a great deal and gave somebody a good deal. That's what Chris always says. You want to give somebody, you want to take a great deal and give somebody a good deal, and then you make the money in between, and that's the whole wholesale game. So you shouldn't feel bad that you made $15,000 off a transaction. You should be happy because you helped the seller solve a problem and you helped the buyer solve a problem, and you made money in between.
Thank you.
Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's the game we play right there. Like I did a deal this summer over in Spanish Lake, had it under contract. What we have it under contract for? I think 30,000. We had a property under contract for 30,000. I sent it out at like 55. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make some money. Lo and behold, too many people was hitting me up trying to get it. I said, whoa. Something ain't right. I might be selling this a little too cheap. So I said, we're going to do a 1-hour open house tomorrow at 12 noon. A bunch of people showed up. They bid that bad boy all the way up to $66,000. It was a $36,000 assignment fee on a property. The marketplace told me it was worth more because the house didn't need that much. It needed carpet and paint. It didn't need any major fixings. I mean, it was actually a good enough deal for me to buy, but I wasn't trying to buy over there. But that house, $36,000 wholesale deal. Was I supposed to feel bad about it? No, I didn't mind it. So these deals come up all the time. So that's why I say, just as long as the deal works for your end buyer and they can perform, that's all we really worry about.
I just had one like that. I actually was like, okay, I know my numbers well, so I was like, okay, I can get this off at around 65. But some reason it wasn't going. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I have it too high. And that's where I played myself. So I ended up going back to the seller and I said, hey, this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Me and the seller ended up renegotiating. And so they ended up, initially I had it under contract for, I think like 55 or something like that. So, get 10. Anyway, I went back to the seller and said, hey, this is what's up. And I told them the truth. I mean, I didn't say, hey, this won't make off of it. But I ended up going back and getting under contract for 30. Seller went all the way down, said, we're just going to be done with this, whatever else the case, and this just is costing us too much, and we're not going to put the money into it. My behind, my buyers already knew that I said, I'm going to come down, because I went ahead and I came down to 55. So, No, it was 55. Yeah, I came down to 55. And so, but one of my buyers, they were out of Canada. And so they ended up saying, okay, well, you know what, we can do it for this amount here. But all this was happening simultaneously. So while I was negotiating with my seller, I was already renegotiating with my end buyer. Anyway, at the end of the day, they ended up selling it. My end buyer out of Canada, they ended up selling it for 65, the amount that I had in the beginning. I did come away with 23,000 on it, but they ended up making like 14 to 15 also. You know, so I'm like, man, I needed all that, but you know, I still sometimes. I mean, especially. I mean, I've been doing it for over a decade. You know that, Chris. But sometimes you gotta negotiate at the same time, depending on what's happening back and forth, and you can't get into analysis paralysis because I get into that a lot also.
I muted myself. I had a raggedy house down in Fenton, and I mean, it had mice and everything. I mean, I don't know, it might have been rats or mice, one of them. I went in there, I was taking pictures. I said, whoa, something just ran across. Never mind, let me hurry up and get out this house. So I took the pictures, got out of there, marketed it, and I couldn't get anybody to take it. So I reached out to a bigger company here in St. Louis. They have the buyers. They got somebody to come in and buy it. The problem is I had to go back to the seller and renegotiate like you did and get it a little lower to make sure I can make something off of it. But we got the deal done. And that comes back to this whole thing. This price is made up. Somebody got to be able to reach the person who's willing to pay that premium price. Some buyers pay more than others. In my opinion, the best buyer is somebody who's going to buy a house and move in it and live in it themselves. They're going to pay a premium because they want it emotionally, not just for an investment.
A lot of people buying stuff are out of country too. I mean, out of the area.
Oh, really?
Because the buyer I found, they had the buyer in Canada.
That's it. That's why I say connections. And this came back to what I was saying earlier on about this price is either too high or the marketing is not as strong as we would like it to be. And that's not a bad thing. We just have to be able to identify it and correct it as we're going through our particular deal. Karen, I don't know what happened. I think you keep getting kicked off or something, but she said good evening after coming in and out like 6 times. But yeah, this real estate game is wide open for those who see. So when you're coming in new, and you just want to get a fish on the hook, as I like to say, that's all you worry about at this point. Trying to underwrite a deal, trying to figure out all this extra stuff and all the 19 exit strategies we can use, because I got exit strategies, just depends on the situation. And there's no reason to even worry about that until it's time to worry about that. So hopefully that helps someone out. Karen says she got a bad connection. Yeah, we all do sometimes. Part of the life. And so I was going to share where Miss Bathsheba go. Did she leave? I had something for her. I guess she left. Let's see here. Should I bird dog first before I wholesale? I know what I would say to that, but I'm gonna ask DJ with a decade of experience. DJ, should I bird dog first before I come and start wholesaling?
You can kind of do it simultaneously, but if you don't know anything, I would say bird dog. I would definitely say bird dog. And whoever you bird dog for, you can get free training there. If somebody sets you up and says, hey, you know what, bird dog for me, this is what I need you to do. This is the criteria I'm looking for. You can do driving for dollars. You can, go online, however you want to do it. Start there, and then that'll bring you into wholesaling. And then of course, now when I say bird dog, I mean you can bird dog for a while. But I would say maybe your first 2 bird dog, because whoever you're working with and sending those leads to, then you can go ahead and say, hey, I would like to do my first wholesale deal too. So it's like, what are they? I have to get what order go in by, do one each, teach one, whatever, however it goes. It's 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, I would say you can bird dog maybe the first 2 deals and then go right on into wholesaling, because you don't have to. I mean, you can do a lot of JV with the person who's training you. But get the training while you're bird dogging, and then you don't have to bird dog too long before you become a wholesaler. I mean, my first deal was wholesale deal.
There you go, bird dog. What is bird dogging? Because some people may not even know what that is. What's bird dogging?
Bird dogging is when you are looking for properties. So if you do have an investor, say for yourself, Mr. Chris, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for properties that meet this particular criteria. People who are going through divorces, people who are in probate, meaning people who passed away, people who are, just whatever it is, houses that, you drive by it and the roof looks bad, shutters look bad, it's a car parked in the grass in the front yard, you know. If it looks bad, you see a nice neighborhood and the house stands out because it like is dilapidated or has some issues. It's either two type of properties, either a property that's either disgruntled owner or disgruntled or distressed property, distressed owner, distressed property, one or the other. And so at that point, you write those numbers down. I mean, write those addresses down, and then you can give them to, you know, now you can go further as you're being trained and say, hey, you know what, you can knock on the door, do a door knocking, which I think still works even to this day.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, you can do your door knocking, you know, and to say, hey, you know what, and you don't have to. Some people are scared when it comes to doing that, and you can say, hey, you know what, I'm just kind of in the area looking for a few more houses to, you know, buy in the neighborhood. You have to know anybody in the area who's looking to sell, and they may say, hey, you know what, next door, the lady passed away, or you know, or they may say themselves, you know what, I'm not looking to sell, but you know what, I have an auntie who looking to sell one across the street, you know, or I mean, just whatever else. The bird dog is really just you being a property scout.
That's it, a property scout. I know that somebody wants to sell. Here's
Once
their
you get the
information.
criteria, this is what I'm looking for. Whatever you bring to me, even if you're just bringing me addresses, then I can put them in my own CRM and have my own callers do all the work or whatever else. And if I buy this house and close on it, then I'll give you a bird dog fee, you know, whatever that number is.
That's it. So bird dog, you're basically going to refer a lead to an end buyer or to someone on a team that's going to basically work a deal. You're just referring. You don't really necessarily have to go put them under contract, because that's the different step between bird dogging versus wholesaling. Wholesaling going to go put them under contract, which I'm going to tell people to do anyway. I mean, just me personally, I would say to get them under contract or get on a team with somebody like me or Art or somebody that's actually doing deals and say, hey, we are looking to buy it. We're going to put them under contract because we don't want to play around with it. Because if you don't have a contract, what do you have? Art, did you have any thoughts on that? Should someone bird dog first or should they wholesale?
Personally, I just you know, started studying up on wholesaling and just went from there. You can't go wrong either way, but if you just go straight to wholesaling, then you just get a bigger piece of the pie instead of you know, sending somebody. You know, you might bird dog a fire lead that could be your first rental. It could be your first fat wholesale deal. Anything. You know, you want to get that equitable interest.
Yes, because you know there are some people that get lucky out here. Somebody right here in St. Louis got one of their first wholesale deals, $147,000. I said, "Damn, why can't I find no deals like that?"
Okay, where they at?
We need bird dogs to bring them to us.
Exactly.
There you go.
What you said.
Yeah, Miss DJ, right? Yeah, just go ahead and bird dog and bring the deal to Chris.
Bring it to me. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Oh no, I know what to do with it when I get it.
That's right. Justin, did you have anything on that? Should I bird dog first before I wholesale?
I don't even know what bird dogging is.
Hey, basically,
Loan balance is all we know.
Low balance is all we know. Which is still what you own. Like, you're an investor. I don't even know what that is.
Right.
Jumping out the gate, going creative.
Right, exactly.
that's right.
That's for those who get that analysis paralysis. You know, because you can say, hey, I want to just jump into wholesaling because I heard about it somewhere. They can go ahead to YouTube University and get all the education in the world and still will sit on it.
Yeah, because I think I got 300 plus videos on my YouTube channel at Chris Monroe STL. That's a lot of videos. Tell you everything you need to know from the rooter to the tutor almost. And get it going. Mr. Transaction Engineer says it depends on the individual's confidence level. Now that's a good one. If you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right.
You're correct.
If you could bird dog, you could wholesale.
That's correct. That's why I said just maybe your first or second one. After that, there's no just, I mean, whoever, you know, you bird dogging for, that after that first one, then you can get right on into wholesaling if they're going to teach you what's up.
There you have
So
it. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, that would bring me to a question of what would be the difference between someone who has the ability to wholesale a deal and someone who can only bird dog a deal. What do you think, Chris? What sets those two apart?
LAZY. I mean, you know, I'm not taking no. I mean, Bird Dog make $100, $500, somewhere in there, $500 max maybe. Wholesale, I just told you somebody made $147,000 on a wholesale deal in St. Louis. Another person I know did a $90,000 wholesale deal in South St. Louis. Why would I pass up that kind of money? All because I don't want to have them sign a piece of paper. I'm having them sign a piece of paper. That's just my personal thought. But
so what skills are necessary for someone to go from bird dog to wholesaler?
Paperwork, understanding, getting on a good team, learning the lingo, really just work with somebody. I mean, that's what I always suggest is work with somebody that's actually doing it. That just makes it so much easier. The paperwork's already there. Handling whatever objections could already be there. If you connect with a closer like me, you don't have to worry about that stuff. Why work yourself so hard when you can just work easy and smarter? What did I say? Work smarter, not harder. So that's what I would suggest, Art. But there's nothing wrong with it. Some people want to do it. I couldn't even put my brain around that, though.
Yep.
I mean, if I was just scared, like, oh, I don't know. But all real estate is black ink on white paper. Somebody signed a paper, signed a house over. That's it. It ain't really that. I mean, it is a major thing, but at the granular level, you look at it, it's not that, it's filling in blanks on a paper if you got the right paper. Because the paperwork makes the paperwork. Now, let's see here.
But Chris, you kind of breezing over the point of the skill set that kind of come behind it, though. And it's probably because you didn't have this skill set for so long.
It's a bunch of skills you need. A bunch. You need communication skills. You need marketing skills. You need negotiation skills. You need skills. I mean, some people have those skills already. They're just not in the right vehicle. Real estate, something where they can actually get a product that has some money on it, not a $20 T-shirt, which is
comprehension skills, because those you gotta make sure that contract right.
Yeah, or you just get the proper paperwork from the beginning. If you go to futurecashflowclub.com, you get the paperwork for the paperwork, and you don't have to worry about that. It's fill in the blank. Very simple, very easy. So all of this stuff, I try to make it very simple, because real estate is already complex. They got a lot of stuff that two things can mean the same thing, like a mortgage and a deed of trust, or you can be talking, a trust, period. I mean, all of these words, you're like, what the heck? And they try to confuse you. I try to make it very simple. Don't overthink this stuff. Don't overprocess this stuff. Talk to homeowners, people who have property, who have the ability and the motivation to want to sell their property, and connect them with somebody that wants to buy that property. It's just that simple. Any other thoughts on wholesaling versus bird dog? Because I had something here for Miss Bathsheba. Let me see here. I got something for you. So which one you're going to do? You're going to do wholesaling, or are you going to bird dog first, Miss Sheba? Anything, or what do you think about that?
Okay, first of all, I'm from New York City, so scared money don't make no money.
Come on.
I'm with it. I felt, Art throwing a little bit of, no, I was kidding. I'm just joking. I'm pulling your leg. But no, all jokes aside, the only reason that I was even considering bird dogging, because I did not have access to like a professional like yourself or Justin, for example, where I can pick your brain on how to get it under contract. Like a piece of paper, but there's still an art form. There's a finesse to it. So for me, bird dogging would have just put me in a position as a starter to set that appointment, get the initial information under the 4 pillars that you sent, right? And then be able to learn more about having that conversation, because I have communication skills. I have all the necessary skills. It's just the conversation. Like, okay, once we determine ready to sell that house, where does the conversation go to get it under contract? Do I schedule an in-person meeting? There's just certain little tweaks that I would have to be taught to get me to that point. So I'm open to do both. I mean, I'm just so humble. I'm a grinder. I'm gonna get it how I fit in. If it's setting your appointments and then you teach me how to do the rest, then I'm with that. But yeah, I understand that it still takes a little bit of finesse.
I'm gonna make a bold claim, Sheba. I gotta make a bold claim.
Decree and declare that thing. Okay.
You're gonna close the deal this year in 2025. I can feel it.
Hey, look, I received that.
I can feel it.
Hey. Pass it over there. Hold on.
because it comes back to what Art just said. You know, a person, you know, once you have the skills and the motivation, and you know, you already said scary money don't make no money. Put me in, coach. You ready to go? That's all it really takes once you decide to do it. Just like when I got into real estate in 2018, I fell asleep watching some motivational videos, woke up, it's a dude walking around with a big beard named Max Maxwell talking about real estate. I said, what? We in real estate now? Y'all done messed up. Let me in. I didn't go ask nobody. I didn't say, oh, you think I should get into real estate? I just started marketing and started doing it, started watching the videos and started operating. I did not wait for permission. And it sounds like that's what you're doing too, Miss Sheba.
Let's
Let's get it. All right. So that so I guess you did get that little sheet that I shared.
absolutely. And I saved this ready in my Google Drive. I don't play.
Booyah. And this is what I shared to her. Oh, can we even see that? Is that too small? Let me get bigger. Get swole. So, and these are just some questions. You don't have to ask all of these questions. These are just some questions so you're never on the phone stuck. When you're on the phone with a seller, you should never be like, I wonder what I should be asking about. What should I be saying? What should I be doing? What should I be doing? All of that, we already know what we should be doing. Asking these questions here. We're trying to figure out the 4 pillars. We want to figure out what's the price they want. We want to figure out what's the general condition of the property. What's their timeline? And once they answer the question, you may not have to go much deeper because they might just tell you, hey, I need to sell before the year ends. Very easy. Keep it moving. Don't spend too much energy on it. Other than when we get to the motivation part. Motivation is the most important of the 4 pillars. And why is that, Art?
Because one of the main reasons why it's important is because their motivation for selling is oftentimes going to be what we're going to need to be able to get them closed out on selling this at a discount we need to be at. That's just one of the reasons.
That's it. That's the only way. We got to understand them. They're either trying to move away from the pain or move toward some type of a gain. Your job is to ask the right questions to figure out which one are they. What you got, Art?
Another reason why motivation is important is because if we understand what their true motivation is and why they need to sell this property and what problems they're trying to solve, if we're able to truly solve all of their problems, then that gives us a really good chance of getting a deal.
100%, because they came to you or they even talking to you because they got a problem to solve. We need to identify their problem, how they feel about certain things. What happens if they don't overcome that challenge that they're coming across right now? Because some people really have serious issues going on. Like you said, your first deal, they had to sell in 2 weeks. I got to get that thing off the books, man. I got to sell it. Really? How low you willing to go then? How bad you want to sell it? No. But, you know, I'm not saying.
Many times they have mortgages on them, you know, and so they can't go past that, but, you know, they won't, you know, so that's all. Many times it's about them having my mortgages, just like the one I was brought up before with the FSBO.
Right.
I found that lady online. It's not that she's even online. She just posted it on Zillow, which I just found out today when I went over there and walked the house and videoed it and everything else. And so she said, I put it on Zillow like 3 months ago, but she said, I'm in the hospital all the time. So she said, a lot of people show interest, but, you know, I've been in the hospital so much. And I said, well, when's your next available day so I can have my contractor come out and take a look at it? And so she said, well, Tuesday. I said, I'll see you Tuesday. You know, and that was today, you know, so I'll see you on Tuesday. And so what I'm going to do is just bring who I need to bring, you know, to make that thing.
I love deals like that. You know why, DJ? I tell her, you know, I see you're in the hospital. You're having some things. How are you really feeling? Are you feeling better? This is what's going to separate us from AI, by the way, being a human.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting better? Did they get you taken care of? They got you all patched up? Do you need anything? You know, that's very powerful. A lot of people don't think about that. Asking a person what they need, especially if you're talking to real estate agents, because they get lost in this sauce too. Hey, you working on anything you're stuck with? We try to truly help people understand what they're going through so we can throw them a life raft. And once we find out what they're going through, i.e. that lady at the hospital, I go get the key from her. I don't want you at the house. I want to come get the key from you if I can.
You know what? We went through all that because she said she was in dialysis, and she said they probably won't let you in here But in today in our conversation, I said, if I could close this in 2 weeks, what would you need in order for me to have this done? She said, well, could you help me clean it up? And I was like, of course. You don't have to worry about cleaning it out. You can leave all this in here. She said, well, these couches are nice. They wasn't. But I feel like, oh, yeah, they are.
Yep.
You know, but yeah.
Take what you want, leave what you don't. One of my favorite closes for these sellers that have stuff in their house, because everybody got too much stuff. Right, Justin? Did you just find that out the hard way, Justin?
The hardest way.
The hardest.
The hardest way. For sure. But these people, you know, everybody got too much stuff. Everybody in America, we all do. Everybody on this stream, everybody gonna watch the replay. Everybody's gonna be here all day. We got too much stuff. Me too. I got tanks and stuff laying around like I'm in the army or something. All kind of goodies. Get rid of that stuff. You don't need it. Karen says, what does a closer do? What you think, Art? What does a closer do?
A closer is the one who gonna take you is the one thing that takes you from being a bird dog to a wholesaler. That skill set right there, being able to get these people on board with the program, being able to answer all of their questions, overcome any objections they have, and then getting this at a price where you can actually take it and do something with it. That's what a closer does.
That's right. DJ, you got a definition for her? What does a closer do?
He said it. The closer, it brings it on home.
Bring it on home.
Yeah, you know, they bring it on home. They're the ones who, and they're different than the transactional coordinator. But yeah, at the end, they're the ones who, you know, and it also depends on if you are assigning or if you're double closing, you know, so it all depends on what's happening. But at the end of it, it's the one who closed it and finishes it on up, takes it on home.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's how they do it. What does a closer do? A closer closes the deal, gets the seller on board, and gets that thing closed, whether they're going to buy it themselves or they're going to get it and get another end buyer locked in. They're going to close the deal. They're the glue. Let me see. What's a better analogy? They're the peanut butter to that jelly sandwich. Is that a good one? Not really. Try again. What's another way to put that? And don't be Chat GPT and Art now. Like, what's a better way to say this analogy? They're the onions to my Chinese rice. I don't know.
I mean, they the ones you tap in when it's clutch time. When you know you got something on the line, you think it's a deal. Seller telling you they super motivated, and you know that it seemed like the numbers should work, but you just don't know what to do. You call that closer up like, hey, tag me in. I need you to come put this under contract. That's what a closer does.
Put me in, coach. All right, that's what we got. Cool beans.
I have a quick question for the forum.
Drop something heavy on them.
All right, because I action. So I signed up on PropWire, got my free account. Now I'm on auction.com because you also dropped that gem. So I'm over here, you know, doing a scan. So my question is, like, right now I'm looking at a property, for example, that is going to go to auction Monday, December 1st. Is that enough time? Like, when I'm looking at properties and they have an auction date, how much time, like how many days in advance would you need to help me close that?
Great question. How much time is enough time on a pre-foreclosure? Yeah, December is plenty of time. I've stopped auctions the day of the auction before. So it doesn't even matter. As long as we get a connection with the seller and they are able and willing to play ball and sell their property, we can make it happen. With that house that's 2 weeks out like that, that's more than enough time. I've stopped them with 3 days to go. I've stopped them the same day of the auction. So yeah, it's going to
okay. Because I saw another one that is 3 days from now. That's what made me ask. So in that situation, I contact the seller. They're ready to go. We still get it under contract, and then at that point, do we take it to to show them that
Uh,
we've purchased a property? Like,
Sheba,
walk
can
me
you-
through the steps on how
Sheba,
that would work.
Sheba, can you pop out and come back in? Because your thing is getting real choppy. I don't know if it's that or what, because I didn't want to miss
Okay.
anything.
All right, sorry.
No, you're okay. Because I want to make sure we getting the full thought, the full walk, and the full talk. So we're talking about pre-foreclosures. We're talking about auction.com. She saw a property. They have an auction date coming up in 2 weeks was one. She saw another one with 3 days. What do we do with somebody with 3 days? Should we avoid that one, Art? What do you think?
Just call them up anyway and have the conversation and see what they're willing to do. If they're willing to jump through the hoops, put that bad boy under contract. And then if you know the next steps, take them. If you don't, get with Chris.
That's it. And I'll make sure she gets that when she pops back in, because it's really that simple. I don't try to, like I say, I don't want to overthink this stuff. It's more so just going through a process, the process of elimination. And the elimination is them eliminating themselves by saying, they ain't selling my house, goddamn it, don't call me no more. That's when I know they don't want me to talk to them no more. Or they hang up on you, or they kick you off their front porch. If you don't get off my porch, I'm going to get you off my porch. When they talking like that, we gone. If they ain't talking like that, we can keep on going and having that conversation, because a lot of times they have it in their mind that they're going to have a solution to the problem, but there may not be a solution. That solution they have may not work out. And when it doesn't work out, they still come on back home and we figure it out. So I want them to go try it if they want to. I can't make them sell me their house, because, you know, most of the people I come in contact with, their original thought is, I want to keep the house. I want to stay here. Would you buy the house and let me rent it back?
A lot of people want that.
I
A
know.
lot of that's because there are a lot of investors who promise that.
And that's where I would.
Now they don't close, but they tell them and put that mindset, and so they were like, okay, well, yeah, I'll sell it to you, but can you rent it? Can I rent it back? I mean, you know, can I rent it back from you? And you're looking like, no, but you know, you're still trying to solve a problem, but that's not a problem you can solve. Hey, you know what? I can give you cash for keys. I can do this, that, and the third. I can help you out to move on to your next merry way. But this house is an undone deal if you haven't already done something about it, you know, yourself.
That's correct. If somebody wants to sell me their house and they're in pre-foreclosure and they want me to rent it back to them, you know what I'm gonna tell them? Wrong answer.
Wrong.
But
And
you know what? It was sound effects. But you, the most I got is that was easy, but
That was easy.
he got buzzers.
All right, Miss Sheba, you back now?
Thank you for your patience. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so yeah, but that was my question. So with the property that is going for auction on December 1st, I contact the seller, I get them on the call. So at that point, I get it under contract, correct? Because I'm the wholesaler.
If you're gonna do wholesale, if you get somebody in this situation with you being this new, just give me a call back. Say, hey, I got them. They said they are willing to sell, and we'll go on the phone and we'll get on the freeway with them, and I'll walk you.
Period.
That'd be a lot easier in your position right now.
On it.
But
I agree.
but as you get your training and you matriculate in your skill set, you'll be like, oh man, I could have been doing this 5-10 years ago. Why I ain't know about this till now? And this stuff goes on over and over and over again. So coming back to your dates on auctions in the state of Missouri, or here in St. Louis, I guess I should say, 21 days or more, they have to put in the newspaper public notice that the auction is coming up. Those public notices that go in the newspaper, these different sites and things go in and they put it on their site, and they're basically a third party, but they legally have to put it in the newspaper 21 days or more here in St. Louis. So that's why we're always going to have about 3 weeks when they first pop up. So that's why you see that 2-3 weeks out. Coming back to your original question about the 3-day person, should we reach out to someone with 3 days before the auction? Yes, because we don't know their situation. They may be able to, if they're willing to play ball and they want to sell, we have a number of ways to, 1, stop the auction, and 2, solve their problem. It's just going to depend their situation. So we don't care what they got. We just want to make the connection, whether that's door knocking, calling, texting, whatever we're doing. We just want to make the conversation and help build a new nation.
Okay, great. So, as a bird dog initially, because we all agree that at least in these first 2 weeks, that's where I'm going to start while you train me to do everything else, right? So, with that being said, I'm just literally sending you these deals. Hey, I found a seller. This is their auction date. They're ready to sell. This is the price. I'm still doing those 4 master pillars so I can provide you with the information that you need.
Correct.
But in order for you and I to do business together, do we have a JV contract? What type of agreement would I put in place to ensure that you're not just taking these deals and not paying me my finder's fee?
Correct. Yeah, it's usually best to do a JV deal, a JV agreement, a joint venture agreement if you're going to be working with somebody else in real estate. I'm not saying we don't trust or not trust people, but I always like paperwork. I like a paper trail. So somebody going to say, Chris, you said, hey, what's the paperwork say? Because it's going to, I don't argue with nobody. Say, what's the paperwork say? Let's take a look at the paperwork. And it literally states in there in plain English, we agreed to do this, this, and that. So that's what we're going to do. This, and that. And it's just that easy. So, yeah, that's the best way to do that.
Thank you. And then if I wanted to get your buy box, is it possible that I could just send you a text, get your email, or like, is there a way for me to obtain your buy box? Because I can't just look up random properties. It's better that I know specifically what you're looking for. So if I'm looking to partner with you directly,
Well,
that's
what if
so
I make everything so easy? I don't want people to have to think too hard. That's just my whole mentality about life. I don't want nobody to have to overthink, overprocess. We put a system in place and go back to sleep like a baby. So, but that buy box is for what I particularly would buy, but it doesn't matter if I buy it or not. We're going to solve the problem for that seller and we're going to make it better no matter the weather. Come on. So that's my buy box right there. Take a good screenshot. Say cheese for the camera. Or I did a little cheese for the camera. So that's my buy box there. But it doesn't matter. I don't even, like I say, if somebody has a problem with real estate, I'll take a look at it. It all comes back to that to me. Do you have a problem with real estate and do you have the capability to sell me the property? Everything else I figure out. I don't worry about this stuff, to be honest. Because even if I don't want it, I'll find somebody else who does want it. We solve problems for people with real estate. That's what we do. I don't even consider myself a cash investor, buyer, creative, title, wholesaler, bird dogger, whatever. All those titles, I don't even like titles, to be honest. It's good for internal use like this in training environments or for networking, stuff like that. But in the real world, I'm a shark. I'm a killer. Bring me some dinner. All right. So there you go. Auction.com. You ain't even waiting. Sheba, you already going and generating leads. And what, you gonna knock on their door too or no?
Yeah, look,
Mike.
I'm not above going to knock on their door, especially in the daylight. I'm going to Cahokia. Right now, I got like at least 7 properties in Cahokia. One auction starts in 37 days. The other one, 26 days. That's more than enough time for me to knock on the door and say, hey, how you doing?
What's your name?
That's it. So, and a lot of this comes back to just getting in where the actual deals are happening too. Cahokia in Illinois, you can do deals over there. But if you get on this Missouri side, we can do more deals. That's just the truth. If you want the truth, if you really want to make some cake, come on over this way. Ooh.
Oh yeah, no shade. I'm just looking at Cahokia because, as you know, or you may not know, I'm not sure because everybody was pulling on you last night. So my desire is to do my partner just bought a property for me. I'm going to open up my first re-entry in December. So Cahokia and East St. Louis are just the areas that we have connections with parole and probation. Now, once I cross over and start marketing on that side, then I'll be looking for property over there as well. But I'm open. I mean, it's whatever works for the team. It's about getting money at this point. So I'll on auction.com, what I'll do is I'll expand my search into St. Louis as well. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please do, because we want to buy. I mean, we like wholesaling too, but we looking to buy too. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. We just did a deal in Cahokia. What was that, in September, I think? made a little deal. You know, little deal. See, that's the thing too. When you're looking at these, is not to overcomplicate this. Say you do find a house in Cahokia, they only gonna sell from anywhere from what 20 to 60,000 or something like that. I don't think they're gonna go much more than that. So that means your spread is gonna probably be that 5,000 or less that you were talking about earlier. But if you come to an area with a bigger ARV, bigger after repair value, bigger opportunity, you can get a bigger check. $30,000 wholesale fee is nothing on a $600,000 house. That's peanuts. That ain't closing costs, you know. So that's like what?
So as I'm looking at this map, I'm literally doing it in real time. So I see Webster Grove, I see Creve Coeur, Union City, Clayton, then Ferguson up by the airport, Bridgeton, Maryland Heights. So
All of
does
that,
it
we
matter?
love it. I don't know where Union City is, but yeah,
I think that's south. So
that sounds like that's out in the sticks somewhere.
yeah.
No, it's right next to Clayton.
Union City?
You know, University City.
Oh,
Oh
University
yeah,
City.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I'm just looking at this map. I haven't zoomed in all the way.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
like,
Yeah, University City 63130 or 63132. We love it over there. Let's make it do what it do.
okay. But I'm just trying to, like, how do I know what areas to avoid? So what I'll do is I'll just scrape a couple and then start shooting you zip codes. So at least I know kind of, because I'm from the other side of the bridge. You know, I don't
St.
really
Louis
know.
County. St.
Okay,
Charles
cool.
County.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we make it real easy for you. See, I like systems, and I hope everybody's taking good notes on that. Make everything easy. Make it easy for people to do business with you. Don't make it difficult. Oh, I got to fill out a long 27-page form to do business with me. No, make it easy for people to do business with you. So that's what we got. So before we go to the next step, any other questions, comments, or concerns? Let me see here. Somebody asked that. Somebody asked that. Just making sure I didn't miss somebody's question. A lot of stuff in there.
One other thing I'll throw in real quick is you were asking why is motivation important? Another reason I thought of why motivation is important, we need to know why these sellers want to sell these properties because, for example, if we're going to buy this property on terms and keep it, we need to make sure that the reason that they're selling it is not going to be a reason that we're going to want to end up selling it as well.
So what you're saying is never change places with the seller.
Correct.
Because you can inherit a problem like, oh yeah, the tenant's great. They've been paying on time. You buy a house with a tenant in and you didn't inherit a trash tenant and they ain't paid in 3 years. They ain't paid since COVID. And now you done inherited them. And now you looking like, man, I wonder why you want to get rid of this house.
Exactly. So yeah, like you were saying, man, motivation is super, super important for a lot of reasons.
The most important of the 4 pillars. Motivation. Why are you selling?
And doesn't that also help you determine your timeline? Because if they're extremely motivated, then you can get the deal done quicker, correct?
Well, when it comes to timeline, we just want to gauge. That's part of gauging their motivation. Actually, how soon, if we can work everything out, Mr. Seller, how soon would you like to close? I need to close yesterday. Oh, sound like you're in a rush. What's the hurry? What's the hurry about? Now we see that it's something going on. Or if they're like, oh, I don't really have to sell it. I'm just curious to see what you give me for it. They ain't really got no motivation. I'm not saying we can't work a deal with them, but where all of these questions that we ask on that sheet and whatever else comes up through the conversation is to gauge motivation and to understand their situation. We want to know who we're dealing with, because if we don't solve their problem, their price won't even matter. Because sometimes price isn't the main factor. Like people take haircuts on this stuff on a regular basis. I'll take a $20,000 less than what I had it on. I'm selling it for just to get rid of it quickly. The seller we're working with now in this condo over here in Florissant, they just said, oh, we'll sell it for what we owe. We just want to avoid foreclosure. And that's my favorite thing. That's Justin's favorite thing, actually. Would you sell it for what you owe on it? But that's getting down a rabbit hole there. Every case is different, and so we just try to make it happen. But Sheba, somebody's calling you. Somebody calling you, Sheba.
Hello.
Yeah, I saw you. You was trying to call me or something a little bit ago.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Beth, and my partners actually let me know that you were interested in selling your property. So I was calling to find out, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell this property before the end of the year?
Well, I have to sell it because it's an auction coming up on December 1st. But I mean, I really don't have to sell it. I was thinking about trying to keep it, but I mean, what you give me for it?
Okay, so we would actually have to get a timeline and figure out the condition of the property. So there are a few steps that we would kindly go through, but I can go ahead and get my teammate to take care of that. I just have a few more extra questions for you, okay? So what exactly is the reason that you're selling the property other than the auction that's coming up? Did you get behind on your taxes, or was there a death in the family?
Yeah, I don't really want to go into it. I just want to, get this auction stopped because they said it's 2 weeks out. I mean, and I don't really have nowhere to go.
Okay, so your plan is to attempt to stay in the property, correct?
I ain't got no choice. Where I'm gonna go?
Okay, so if I could handle this sale perfectly for you from A to Z, how quickly would you be willing to close, and what would it take to get that done?
Well, I mean, if I had somewhere to go, I'd sell it. But I mean, like I said, I ain't got nowhere to go.
Okay, so how do I rebut that? Because I wouldn't know what to say. I'd be like, well, even if I bought the property, like, do you plan on
She's
staying
like,
there?
you
Like,
should
what do
pay
you
your
mean?
bills.
I would be stuck at that point. Like, what
That's
do
how she
you
looking.
say?
If he telling you that
You need to move.
if he telling you that he got the auction on the way, and then he also needs to stay in the property because he don't got nowhere to go, I would just ask him what is his plan with all of this and how he see it all playing out, just to see what he thinking.
Okay,
That don't even make sense with what he's saying. Got the
right.
auction is about to happen, but I gotta stay because I don't got nowhere to go. What are you gonna do then?
Okay,
All
all
right,
right.
so Sheba, I think you did a great job just to be getting in. There's a couple of things I'll give you a few pointers. One, ask your question and stop. Don't lead the witness. What they do in court, Taraya knows about that. The real estate lawyer. Don't lead the witness with, hey, did you have a death in the family? Hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Don't lead the witness. Just ask your question and stop. Let them vomit on you all their pain and problems. Oh, my wife died. Oh, my dog died. Oh, my chickens died. Oh, my... whatever their story is, let them tell you that. Don't lead them into that. Another one would be just be curious. Just be curious and just ask questions. Somebody tell me something like that. Yeah, I don't really got nowhere to go. Oh, wow. I mean, catch me up to speed. Like, how did you even get into this situation? What really happened? Try to get them to tell you the story. They're going to tell you the story anyway, probably, if they want to sell. And then try to figure out, what do they plan on doing if they're not able to sell it or get moved out? How do they see this working out in the best situation for them? Or if we could get you moved out, would you consider selling it then? All of these little things. It's all about being curious. We're not on there trying to teach them anything or anything like that. We're truly trying to be curious and be a detective and figure out, how did you get to this point? What do you like to happen? How do we do something to get you to the point that you're trying to get to next? Is that making sense?
Yep, thank you.
You got anything on that? On that mock call?
No, you got it. I'm still tickled. She like, what I'm gonna say? No.
Right, my little pop quiz. I was like,
No. That was good. That was really good. No. He said it. You gotta continue to ask the questions. Sometimes you get quiet, and then when they see that you got quiet, you stay quiet. Besides letting them know you still there, because then they'll start saying, why are they quiet? Well, let me tell them a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they may even come and say, well, you know what? I was looking for 60, but right now, as long as I get 10 grand or 15 grand in my pocket, so sometimes silence is your best friend.
So basically, DJ is saying embrace the awkward silence. That's a skill set right there. I mean, that's like one of the holy grails of sales. Can you be quiet at the right time and let them feel that awkward silence? Mm-hmm. Just like they say, I want $300,000 for my house. Well, I'll really take 280. Damn, I ain't have to even say nothing yet. Just being quiet. It went down 20,000. I'm gonna shut up again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. I mean, that's 100%.
And it's hard. I mean, you know, it can be hard if you're not aware of it. And that's why we do these trainings every Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, to help develop the mindset of a killer strategist with real estate. Art, what'd you think about that call? Anything else?
I think that she did great at jumping out there and then just running with it and asking the question that made the most sense to her, you know, and not being afraid to move forward. I think that's very important because that's what it takes.
Yeah. Cool. How do you think you did, Sheba?
I think I did good. I think half of the battle, like you said, is just saying hello, you know, and asking the questions and trying to get it out there. But on the flip side, I think that you guys had really great advice on utilizing the power of silence. So I am going to take that. Thank you so much. And not really getting tripped over about, because once you kept saying, I don't have nowhere to go, I was like, what the heck do I do? So, but yeah, honestly, I think overall, as a first impromptu call that I did not know, thanks, best friend. Soraya wrote a comment. So I'm just, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I really appreciate it. And for it to happen impromptu and I had no warning, I think I did good. I didn't like fumble or crumble. So it's
No, you didn't.
It's only up from here. So I appreciate the test.
That's why I say a lot of this comes back to just asking questions, being curious, and letting the people talk. I mean, you'll be amazed at what kind of people you come across. Some leads are just going to be lay down leads, like, dang, I ain't even do nothing. I just talked to them and they were ready to go. And some people you gotta, you know, listen to some of their pain and problems. Coming back to like different personality types. Some people want to know all the inner workings. Well, what's the paperwork look like? What title company are you using? What's this? What's that? Da, 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 da. You know what? You ain't finna be grilling me, sir. Some people ask a lot of questions and some people ask no questions. Some people I've sent the contract to and they send it back immediately, like in 30 seconds. Like, I know they didn't read all of that. And they just sign it. They don't even, you know, it's just every person is different. Real estate is actually easy. It's people that are complex. Once you understand mastering people, asking the right questions, and really solving their problems, you'll be off to the races. I mean, it's open. You did great, Beth. Look at that. Everybody's rooting you on.
Wait, just so you know, when people tell you that they talk to Beth, because when I'm in the field, I'm be like, hey, my name's Beth. Beth Sheba's too much. Sheba sounds a little ethnic, you know? So when they tell you they spoke to Beth, just know that's me. That's my alter ego.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, here's a question from the Philippines. Wow, we worldwide out here. Hi, everyone. Do you have any advice for someone who's currently struggling to close a deal? I'm a real estate salesperson from the Philippines. Art, you got something for them?
Struggling to close a deal. Well, that's very limited information. First thing that I will be looking at is how many leads am I generating and how many offers am I sending out. That's the biggest thing. That's going to be your biggest movers right there. So if you're struggling to close a deal, you need to get more leads coming in, more offers going out, and more follow-up.
Where you go. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You got to generate leads. And that's in any business. You have to generate leads, whether that's free or whether that's paid. Somebody got to be coming and say, hey, I think I want to use your service or your product. I want to work with you. I want to spend my money with you. They got to generate a lead, then convert that lead to an actual contract here in real estate, and then dispositions, getting that thing to the finish line. So, yeah. And yeah, Karen, did you ever get that deal under contract? I know you're working on that deal, but I guess you did or didn't. I don't know. I just thought about that. But yeah, that's what we got for real estate things. So any other questions, comments, concerns?
I wanted to tell Miss Sheba, I did find that prompt. I saved as a note in my phone here. A little bit long, but this is the prompt for that motivated seller simulator I was talking about. So however I can send it to you, I will.
I'm gonna post my my number in the chat real quick so you can send that over. Thank you so much.
Actually, put your email in the chat.
I mean, either one. I don't care.
There's a couple things I can send you also.
Yay!
Got
Thank
them all.
you.
I know he probably got all of his own, but you know, we all come from.
Oh no, you getting too much now. No.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna hold on because you're gonna come.
I'll just give her just a little bit, so she got to keep coming back, so we keep on seeing her.
Okay, I won't give it. I just give her a little.
Just give a little sample, a little,
Give her a little sample.
a little touch. You working
But
on
you know
anything?
what? You say got questions. I actually asked my question earlier.
Mhm.
Usually I do things different, but it's been a while since I had a FISBO. Especially the way this one came to me. I mean, everybody heard of that app called Nextdoor. Anyway, I was posting for some little thing or whatever else, and then somebody, just because I have it in my profile, and somebody like, "Oh, you do so and so," and it just so happened she's like, I've been sickly. She's older herself, but she said her mother had died, and so this house is over in Richmond Heights, over there by Walmart, off Dale.
63117 or
Yes,
okay.
1631. Is it 47 or 117? It's one of them. Anyway, it's right off Big Bend, Dale, all that. Anyway, and so I went over there today, whatever. And so she said, well, there's a reverse mortgage on it. And so, but she has it, it's not listed with an agent. She has it on Zillow. And so I'm like, okay, so you kind of already put a number out there. So you have to look at that too. If there's already a number out there, so anybody, if you plan on just putting it under contract and sell it off, any investor gonna see, oh, well, she wanted it for something. And then plus her numbers on there too. So you kind of got to see how to finagle that. And
why is she selling it?
She said because the reverse mortgage, and she's sickly, and she just don't have time for it. Ain't no kids, no nothing like that. And so
she already moved out.
Well, she never lived there. Her mother died. Who owns the house?
Oh, so how is she gonna do that? She gonna go through probate or do an affidavit of heirship?
Either the bank gonna take it back because of the reverse mortgage, or she has to just sell it. So she was. She said.
How is she gonna
today?
She don't own it. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I mean, I guess she inherited, through a will. I'll just say that because she said today. She said, well, it's the reverse mortgage on it, and she said, I'm not gonna really make any money off of it at all because of that, but she has medical bills that she needs to take care of. But it's she already has the documentation or whatever else in order for her to be able to sell it outright.
Oh, okay.
But I was just looking at like, wait a minute, the number is already out there on Zillow. Like she said, 4 people came today. She said people came. She said it's been out there like 3 months because she's been too many times back and forth into the hospital. And so I'm like, okay, I get that, but I got to still deal with that number already being out there, via Zillow and any other investor. I don't care where you're coming from. They're going to say, oh, it was being sold for $265. But now, literally next door, they tore down a house and there's because what do they call it? Not eminent domain. I can't think of the name right now. I don't know it. They tore down the house and they're rebuilding the house. And so that house, once it's built, it'll be $600,000. But this one here, because the reverse mortgage is only 200 and something, 260 or something.
What about she paid her taxes and stuff?
Yeah, everything's cleared. She just needs to get rid of it because she needs a few dollars for her medical bills.
Wayne, there you
go. And then she was like, and also moving out some of the stuff that's in there.
So you gotta wait till Tuesday to get it going, huh?
Well, that's because I know today. That's the only. She said Tuesday and Thursday that she'll have available, but Thursday she won't because she has doctor's appointments like 4 days a week.
Man, give me that key, lady. Stop playing. I'm finna come pick it up. I ain't nobody finna do all that.
That's something I told her too. I said I can put it on the lockbox for you because every time you got it, I said because I might
work for her like that. Yeah, that's already a problem because how you gonna show it to your buyers or whatever if you're gonna wholesale it? So
that part.
When can I come pick up the key? You still at the hospital? I'll be there in 30 minutes.
And I told her that the other day because we were supposed to meet then, and she was like, "Oh, well, I got dialysis. They won't let you in."
What time is that over? Justin told me never give up.
No,
Justin told me don't take no for an answer.
You know what? I'm not necessarily worried about as far as getting that part done. As my thing is actually flipping it off to whoever my end buyer will be at that time, because anybody who pulls it up, they'll see that there was already a number out there. Now, it's only like maybe 15 to 20 in there that's available because of it being a reverse mortgage. But that's something that she needs. So it's like, okay, I can get this house sold for more possibly, but they're going to already see that number that she's
take it off the Zillow. Have her take it down.
I'm gonna look at it. Like I said, right before I got on here, I came from there.
Oh yeah, take that thing off. Especially if I'm buying it off of there. No, they can't take it down like that, Karen. Karen saying sub 2. We do not take over sub 2 mortgages on toxic debt. A reverse mortgage is considered toxic debt because it's a due on sale and they know that the mom died and they will foreclose and they will get their money one way or the other. So we do not take over those properties. There is some advanced strategies, ways to do it, but for this call, no, we do not take those down.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Sub 2.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
So we'll need to do our research on the reverse mortgage situation.
You really only got 2 options, mainly when it comes to a reverse mortgage: sell it or short sell it. You can usually get at least a 10% reduction on a short sale on a reverse mortgage if it's worth it. But, you know, if you want to go through that process.
They have the deed restrictions with the short sale, right?
Because this is a reverse mortgage is a little bit different. Because they basically been paying them to live in the house, and once they die, now we want the house.
Right, we want the house.
The lady who died was getting an income every month. That's why they call it a reverse mortgage. Instead of her
pay them out up front.
Instead of her paying the mortgage was paying her, and now that bill has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now they're ready to cash in and get their money, and they're not playing around. So we can sell it or short sell it. That's the 2 options really with that. Especially if there's an auction date. Does she have an auction date or something yet, or not yet?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, you might have a little time, but I wouldn't play with it. I just go in and sell that thing cash. We don't take it over sub 2 though. She said, "Wow." Oh, wow, wow. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, we're gonna wrap this party up, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get back and go get some dinner. Go eat me some. What are we eating for dinner? Oh, that sounds good. What you having for dinner, DJ?
Actually, I just came back from chapter 18. So
okay.
I got these poke nachos with this tuna.
Oh, you be eating good over there. What about you, Miss Sheba? What you have for dinner?
I went to this place in Fairview Heights called Dogwood Social, so it was kind of cool.
So you be
What kind of food do they serve?
It was like American food. I had like a brisket mac and cheese, which, you know,
okay.
It was unseasoned, so you know, it wasn't really that hot.
Oh no.
But it's all good. It's all good. I was able to see a friend that I haven't seen in 15 years. I met all you good people last night. I'm cool. I'm still chilling from that. But yep. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday, man.
That's how we do it. I hope to see you on
I
there.
didn't even know that you had a meeting last night.
Oh yeah, you missed that too? Dang. A lot of people was telling me they didn't know about it. I'm like, how y'all didn't know? But we'll have I think he'll be back in town probably next year now when he comes back, but we'll see how that goes. The nationwide tour with Pace Morby. Yeah, he gave me a good shout out last night on a little on the thingy. I was like, oh wow, look at that. I didn't expect to be brought up to the stage and all of that. That was fun.
Yeah, you got to share the stage with me, you know. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, you know it.
You the big dog, bro. Don't be acting like you surprised.
I was shocked, like, oh wow, I didn't know he was gonna bring me over there like that. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all, for the people who didn't see it.
What is Max Maxwell doing now?
Max Maxwell's so rich, he done moved to Dubai.
I know he was in Dubai, but then I think he left Dubai and went to Tanzania or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, building something crazy huge over there. I don't even know what it is no more, man. It's like a video series on it, though.
He ain't playing. Let's see if I can get this to play.
Crazy.
We'll get there.
Let me see if I can get you some audio.
Prettier version of YouTube. Chris Monroe is one of our leaders in St. Louis. He's incredible. He helps a lot of people get deals. Okay, give it up for this leader right here. Me in St. Louis. Hey. All right, so this man wholesales. He will help you sell your deals. He buys and holds. He's St. Louis's king. I'm telling you, this guy's incredible. So if you guys need some help, some local help, he's a great person to connect with. He wore orange tonight, and I was like, yo. I said, Orange, you glad we're coming to St. Louis? He's like, yes. I'm wearing orange. So we have incredible leaders here. For anybody that is not in our community, you have people you can rely on here locally. But It's always fun to get somebody on their first call of the night. Okay, we want to.
And that's when Bathsheba came up. Ah!
Oh,
She said-
really?
Came out of nowhere, swinging a bucket and swinging.
Did she get her first call last
I
night?
was here waiting. I'm like, okay, did she?
My first
Yeah,
five.
video of it? Oh, okay.
Hey, Chris. Chris
Congratulations.
Jones said, "Yeah, Sheba. What's up, everybody?"
And Karen got a deal she cooking up. Found us. She got her seller converted from a cash deal to a creative deal. And there was a buyer they found on another phone call in the same town. They're trying to connect that seller and buyer together and actually make a deal all from one meetup. Is that crazy?
Dude, I think the fact that he had warm leads for us was crazy. Like, that is next level. He bought leads to make sure that we can make these calls. Like, that was next level right there. So
Coming back to what Art said, you got to generate the lead. If we got leads, we can make deeds transfer. So hopefully y'all have a good rest of your night. We will see you next Sunday, 7 o'clock Central Time.
All right, nice to see you guys. Hey, Justin.
you
Art.
too.
Nice seeing you. See you, DJ. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see me. I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we